she'll be rising. She'll find the note I left hanging on her door. Here's a very pretty and a very clever song by Jimmy Webb, who also wrote Wichita Lineman, of course, and I've covered the Glen Campbell version of that. Again, I'm focusing on the Glen Campbell version of this song. It's a simple song, a clever and simple song, and maybe it's because he wrote the music and the lyrics, but there's something almost McCartney-like in its kind of uncluttered efficiency. I like that very much. I've got a capo on the 5th fret. Glen Campbell didn't play this with a capo, at least in the video versions I've seen he's playing without a capo, but then he has the support of the strings and all the rest of it behind him. I've got none of that, so in an effort to create a kind of standalone single guitar version of this capo here puts me as if I'm in C, and it allows me to bring in the various colours from the rest of the band. Now we've got 4 beats in the bar and they're quite brisk, something like that, about 88 beats per minute. And when I was putting this arrangement together, I was thinking, well, maybe I could do some sort of picking, which is all fine, and you could work that out for yourself, but I found that my fingers started tripping over themselves, so I'm just going to stick to a simple strumming idea here. 4 beats in the bar, and splitting each one into 4 creates 16ths. That's 1 bar, so I'm literally going to strum down, up on 1 beat, and then repeat that. But I don't want to be too insistent or mechanical or repetitive, so I'm just going to be a little bit judicious about how I impact those strings. I reckon the first strum in the bar wants to be fairly butch, and then I'm really just filling in the rest of the bar, almost like ripples or an echo up on the upper strings. That's how I'm going to do that. If you wanted to target the bass note more specifically, you could maybe use the thumb. I might do that from time to time, especially if the bass note isn't on the 6th string, where it's a little harder to find. But that's what I'm going to do there. I'll do that pretty much throughout, I reckon. We have in the intro a bar of C major 7, and then I'm going to keep the 3rd finger there and play F major 7 over C. So I'm keeping that C there. 2, 3, 4. There it is. And back. And back. And you can see that I'm actually strumming with the thumb on the 1st beat there. That just gives me a little bit more definition. I might not do that throughout, but that's my conception. And we're into the verse. Now the verse kicks off with a chord that we're going to see a fair bit in this song. I'm playing this. I'm calling it D minor 7 over G because that's what it is. But on the guitar I'm going to play this. I could play a straight D minor 7 up here and then put the little finger down to get that G underneath. But I don't want that F all the way up there. I just think that's a bit bright, especially with this capo here. I reckon that's enough to play the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings here, with then that note on the 6th string as well. Plus, if I've been playing the F over C for the intro, it's really simple just to move that 3rd finger down there, and there's almost uninterrupted that little change then. So from the intro, C major 7 to F major 7, by the time I just have to move that finger down. Time I get to Phoenix, that's what I'm going to do there. And I'm going to keep that finger there. She'll be rising. Now I've got my C major 7 again, but this time I've still got the G there, so it's C major 7 over G. So all of that, and we get that twice. By the time I get to Phoenix, 2 bars. Now C major 7 over G. She'll be rising. As I say, that happens again. She'll find the note I left hanging on her door. Okay, congratulations. That is half of the verse done. That's the easy half. We've now got another series. There's another 8 bars to tack onto the end of that, and then we're done with the verse. And you know, we're almost there. She'll laugh. That's that's a straight chord of F, however you want to play that. For me, I'm going to play an E-type bar chord on the first fret. She'll laugh when she reads the part that says I'm leaving. Okay, so F, then our D minor 7 over G again, F over G or whatever you want to call that. A bar of E minor and a bar of A minor. She'll laugh when she reads the part that says I'm leaving. Now we've got a straight D minor. 'Cause I've left that girl, 2 bars, so many times before. To G7, nobody's favourite chord, B flat. Now, because the capo's up here, I reckon we're limited in the number of ways we can play this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to mush my 3rd finger across the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings at the 3rd fret, and then I'm going to catch the 5th string on the 1st fret with my 1st finger. It's nominally an A bar chord on the 1st fret, but that's tricky, so I'm just going to do that much of it. Okay, so we've got D minor for 2, 'cause I've left that girl, and again, so many times before, G7. And that is the end of the verse, so that's the whole thing. Let's do the same thing again, but actually I'm going to add the lyrics to the 2nd verse, just so you can see what's going on. By the time I make Albuquerque, she'll be working. Told you it was clever. She'll probably stop at lunch, give me a call. So we're moving on to F now. But she'll just hear that phone keep on ringing. E minor to A minor to D minor 7. Off the wall, 2 bars and then B flat. That's all. By the time, and we're into the 3rd verse, and it seems a shame not to sing that too. The 3rd verse again is exactly the same for the first 12 bars, but then it changes. By the time I make Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly, call my name out low. Let's just take a moment to appreciate Call My Name Out Low. What a fabulous lyric. She'll cry just to think I'd really leave her. And now it changes. We get D minor 7, but only for 1 bar. Though time and time, G7, I've tried to tell her so. C major 7 and now F major 7, which is like an A minor, but not with the 1st, 2nd and 3rd fingers, but with the 2nd, 3rd and 4th fingers, and my 1st finger is thrown over to the 1st fret of the bottom string. She just didn't know. D minor 7 again. Now here's the master stroke. Talking of McCartney, this is like Abbey Road. E7, I would really know. Go rather. That's A major 7. Okay, so right at the end there's that little surprise, and that's the end of the song. Let's just have that whole of the 3rd verse again, and we can get ourselves into this outro then. By the time I make Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly, call my name out low. F. She'll cry just to think I'd really leave her. Now it's just 1 bar of D minor 7. Though time and time tried to tell her so. F major 7. She just didn't know I would really go. fades out on that. I mean, I'll probably, in my playthrough, I'll bring it to a more positive end after 4 or so bars of that. But that's everything. Gorgeous song. Thanks for watching. And hopefully see you on the next one. Let's have a playthrough. 1, 2, 3. By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising. She'll find the note I left hanging on her door. She'll laugh when she reads the part that says, I'm leaving, 'cause I've left that girl so many times before. By the time I make Albuquerque, she'll be working. She'll probably stop at lunch, give me a call. She'll just hear that phone keep on ringing off the wall. That's all. By the time I make Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly, call my name and go. She'll cry just to think I'd really leave her. No time and time tried to tell her so. She just didn't know I would really go. And that's it.